Hey, good morning again, guys. Carl, that sudden and surprise departure was by far the biggest headline coming out of this summit and the biggest moment as well. The president scrapping quite suddenly plans for his whole day today that included sit-down meetings with the presidents of Ukraine and Mexico, as well as some other closed-door private sessions as well. The White House, of course, saying he had to get back to Washington to focus on the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. And we do expect that President Trump will be spending much of the day today in the Situation Room with his national security team. A U.S. official confirming overnight that he had asked that security team to be ready and prepared in the Situation Room as soon as he landed this morning, which happened at about 5 a.m. Eastern. The question now, of course, is on whether the U.S. is willing to help Israel in these attacks or whether they're continuing to push for a diplomatic solution. And to that end, the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz just spoke here at the G7. And according to a German broadcaster, he said if Iran does not back down, complete destruction of Iranian nuclear program is on the agenda, which Israel cannot achieve alone. Of course, the U.S. has always been expected to have to get involved in order to get to that step of complete annihilation of the nuclear program. For his part, President Trump not showing his cards just yet as to which way he'll go. He told reporters that he wasn't looking for a ceasefire on Air Force One, and then he said this. Take a listen.
What specifically is better than a ceasefire? What are you looking for here?
An end, a real end, not a ceasefire. An end.
So something that would be permanent.
Yeah, or giving up entirely.
As for the rest of the G7, guys, it does continue throughout the day today. Again, I'm surrounded by international media whose world leaders are still here. The president said he accomplished what he needed to do yesterday. We can confirm he met one-on-one with nearly every G7 and EU leader, the one question mark being Italy's Meloni, that we're not sure whether they did meet privately. But despite all those meetings, not much tangible progress on the trade front, which was the one thing the White House and other countries had really been hoping for, is some sort of deal or at least major momentum. The president saying on his plane that when it came to the EU, he said, we're talking, but I don't feel that we're offering a fair deal yet. As for Japan, he said there's a chance of a deal, but they are tough. But guys, I will say Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent remains here, we think, as the sole member of the U.S. delegation that's still at the G7. There could be more talks on trade today. We've asked the Treasury Department, and they haven't told us just yet, but we'll bring you more on that as we have it. Guys.
Yeah, Meghan, you mentioned the German chancellor. The other thing he told ARD, the broadcaster, is that we could expect a deal with the U.S., I assume he means the EU, with the tariff dispute before the summer's over, which I thought was somewhat constructive given some of the comments about those negotiations we got from the Commerce Secretary last week.
It's an optimistic take. The president has long been hard on the EU. We heard him repeat this again last night. He feels that the European Union was formed to be competitive and to sort of take over the United States and take over them economically. At least always says that they're tough, doesn't like that he has to negotiate with 27 different nations, or that at least 27 different nations could have a say in those talks. Interesting, though, that you say Merz said by the end of the summer. We know July 9th is the deadline. That suggests there could be a little bit more of a runway there. We know U.S. officials have been open to delaying the deadline if they feel like talks are moving forward. And the other thing I've been thinking about this week and talking to some folks about is just how much is on the White House's plate. We already know that after last week, they said we haven't seen some of these side deals because they were focused on China. Now, of course, they're focused on what's going on in the Middle East. The question being, will they have time to negotiate any of these agreements? Maybe that's what we next hear is it's just a matter of timing, that they'll need more time, and maybe that's why they ultimately extend that deadline.
Yeah, which will be a question, whether they extend the 10% tariff reprieve or whether it'll go up on some places like Europe. Meghan, thank you very much. Meghan Casella in Banff.